Hi. Hey. Hola.
Hola. This last year, I found a way of offering myself that I haven't before, and it has been, and it's about telling stories. I'm telling my stories on stage.
Oh, I can see that. That's
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
So I'm telling the stories about my life in working in the hospital and all those like very dramatic stories, and with the. I'm telling the way I really see it, and people are getting it. I've been doing it for like a year now. Like 300 people from the hospital came and see it, so it's a way also of seeing what we do together, and it has been incredible. It is.
Can you tell us a short version of one?
I was planning to tell one last night. I'll tell you the end of one.
Yeah, good.
So I've been called to, I'm a medical Spanish interpreter at a large hospital, and one day I receive a phone call and they say, well, would you like to come to interpret for us? We need you in half an hour. I'm like, oh, okay, sure, where should I go? They go, well, the operating room. Well, isn't the patient completely asleep under anesthesia? Oh, no. I'm performing an awake craniotomy with brain mapping. It sounds a little too medical. I'll break it down for you. Okay, I'm a medical interpreter. I know how to do it. Brain mapping, that's obvious now. It's where you map the brain. Craniotomy, well, that's a surgical procedure where part of your cranium is removed, temporary. To operate the brain. And awake? Doctor, do you mean that you have performed surgery on Maria as well? She's completely awake? Yep, you got it. Her tumor is very close to her language center, and we have to be very careful not to fuck her up. I mean, no, he didn't say that. He meant it. He said we have to be very careful to not touch her language center, otherwise she will not be able to talk or understand anything ever again. María, le van a hacer una craniotomía temporaria. Para operarle el cerebro, despierta. ¿Despierta? Sí, despierta, awake. After, with some hesitation and after a little convincing, she signed a release for surgery. And I leave the operating room, I leave her room feeling a wide range of emotions. From ecstatic joy, I will be in the operating room for the first time in my life, to profound fear. I'll be in the operating room for the first time in my life. I can do it. So the night before the surgery, I get ready. I cannot quite sleep. My mind is racing. My monkey mind is racing. Well, do you know, to be an interpreter, you have to be very present. You know, it's like while they're talking and interpreting, if I start thinking about my shopping list, what did you say, doctor? Tomatoes? Oh, cancer, sorry, my bad. So I was concerned. 6 hours in the operating room, and her life, I mean, will depend on how I interpret. Wow, what do I do? And all of a sudden, I hear the voice of my guru saying, Be present, don't worry. Everything will be all right. Oh, okay. Go to bed. Oh, okay. So I go to bed, and all these questions I had, like, well, we're going to open the brain. Can we see consciousness? Where is it? Well, where's the fear of death? Well, I guess I will be able to ask the doctor. So I enter the operating room. Oh my God, it's so cold, and there's so many people, nurses running, cleaning the instruments, the OR nurse placing an IV and getting the drugs. And all of a sudden I see this metal contraption. It looks like a torture medieval instrument. It's called a 3-pin Mayfield skull clamp. And I get a moment of cognitive dissonance. Skull clamp? They shouldn't be together, those two words. And I realize where I am and what's going to happen in a minute. Excuse me. The nurse from England, Harriet, she sees me and she goes, "Excuse me, are you going to puke?" I might. It's my first time in the OR. Well, the surgery begins. She tells me, "Turn over so you don't see anything." But I could hear. That's called a bobby. It's an electric cauterizer that helps you not to lose blood when they're taking your scalp out. It's a little gory. Then, that's a craniotome. It's an instrument that makes a little hole called burr hole. It's the size of a dime. It helps you to do the craniotomy, temporary, to access the brain. And at that point, I realized that I want to watch. The brain is exposed, and I'm there. So I'm like, I shouldn't look, but maybe a little bit. And when I turn, there's a huge mirror, and I can see the whole surgery. And all of a sudden, my fear is gone. I've been there working, and the doctor sees my enthusiasm, and he says, "Would you like to come and see the brain from up close?" Sure, I would love to. So I walk, and there it was. The brain, one of the most complex of all the living structures. 3 trillion brain cells communicating together and coordinating physical movement and mental processes, pulsating with every heartbeat. And at that point, I wanted to ask the doctor, can you, since you mapped the whole brain, can you show me where my curiosity is? Can you show me where my excitement is, where Maria's fear of death or your fear of failure? But I don't. At that point, I realized that I'd never been so present in my entire life. No past, no future, just me helping. And then at that point, I realized maybe this is what my spiritual teacher was telling me, that a spiritual awakening is living every single moment here and now, no matter the emotions, the feelings, or the circumstances, a pure presence that includes all the feelings, all the emotions, and all the circumstances, even the seemingly bad one like brain surgery or a brain tumor. I haven't seen Maria anymore. I don't know how her surgery didn't succeed. They sent her back for chemotherapy and radiation after that, and I don't know how she is. The only thing I remember is her eyes during 6 hours on the surgery looking at me. And she didn't freak out. She didn't lose her composure. She was calm and peaceful. It was the look of acceptance. And I thought if Maria was able to find acceptance in the most dire circumstances, why can't I?
Being used well. Thank you for giving it to us.